Hello viewers, I'm SB and welcome back to Parallel Bug Earth here in Mobius Front 83. Today, if we're very good at our jobs, we'll get to do some programming. This is the purest reward this game can offer me.
Never thought we'd be fighting on their side of the gate. This really fucks with my plan, you know that?
Sir, I thought this was always the plan.
Well, nobody told me. We lost the skies again. They can bomb us all they want here.
Oh hey! Yeah, that's a real problem, actually.
We can take care of that.
Soon, Sergeant, we need to establish a beachhead first. This is a full-on invasion. God damn it, I never thought I'd see anything like this.
I think it is not great that we are, you know, full-on invading another Earth. That seems not optimal to me. I like this. I like the fact that it now tells you... I assume this will, like, color in when we get the thing. That's really nice. And what are these? Are those... Do we get indicators now for where the SAM sites are, maybe? I mean, that's pretty nice. I'm into that. So we have 10 points now and 10 points for Phase 2. They already deployed Phase 1. This is definitely one where we need to trade carefully. So, if we do take the 2 Abrams to which we are entitled, we're not going to have a lot else to work with. It does make me a little nervous, because focusing so many of our points in such a small number of units means that if I do get airstriked, it's going to be, like, real bad. But at the same time... Man, tanks sure are good. Okay, hold on. What else do we want to run? Let's deploy something else first. I just want to get an eye out here and make sure we're not deploying our tanks into terrible positions, you know? Alright, I think we're going to do the thing that we usually do, where we keep the tanks together. And if they are running... If they're running laser painters the way we have to run laser painters, having rifle teams is actually going to be a little bit more relevant than it usually is. But also, of course, there is the concern of enemy helicopters and stuff. I think we're gonna try it like this. We're gonna bring the truck. Yeah, we'll bring the truck and we'll put it on the road. And honestly, this thing just doesn't... It has very little value except as a spotter, right? So we may as well roll it around here and try to catch up with the rest of our stuff. So this is going to get relatively difficult as their reinforcements keep coming in. And of course, if we push forward aggressively, we're going to find ourselves in kind of a tricky position when Wave 2 starts even. So we gotta be smart here. I'm trying to be cautious. Cautious, but not overly so. Gotta be so careful. If they do, in fact, have laser painting infantry, like, I'm really nervous about it, actually. Alright, you step forward. Looks like it's probably safe to do this. We may yet get to test here whether or not... Oh, interesting. They put a plane up already, huh? Okay, well there's the radio computer. That's good to know. I wonder if they maybe get to bomb us without having to do a target painting thing. Because I can't imagine any other reason that there would already be a plane in the air. Oh, well, that's not great. Yeah, so we're going to get to test here whether or not we get to deploy more tanks after losing one, I think. Boy, what are the odds that they were just going to be standing totally in the open? Oh no, sorry, this isn't a painting team. That's one of the blinding teams. Oh, that's way less of a concern. So let's see. You are not... Yeah, okay. You will have to move to actually make your make your attack, and if you do that, we can punish you. Yeah, I'm cool with this. Alright, let's see what they do. I'm not super surprised by that. And then they'll use the blinding team to blind one of the tanks. Yeah, makes sense. Okay, cool. So, yeah, they do in fact seem to be able to bomb your stuff without having to use a painting team, which is definitely going to make this complicated. I don't really know what to do about that, honestly. By which I mean, of course, that I know that there is nothing we can do about that. Yeah, that's actually really... Huh. Oh no, the blinding and the laser designating is the same thing. Interesting. What a weird way to do that. So these blinding units are like super important to kill. Let's make sure that we're putting some effort into that. Do we want to try to push this guy? I mean, obviously, like, trading blows, being the one who rolls in to the situation is obviously pretty bad. You would like to be the stationary one, but the fact that we have 3 armored certainly makes it safer. And the fact is, they're never going to let us trade fairly, right? Like, we're going to have to do it this way. Yeah, having just, like, straight up lost a tank in a way that, like, we could not have known anything was going to happen until the moment it did happen really sucks. But, you know, there's nothing for it. We're about to get 10 more points worth of units, and we're just gonna have to figure it out. Alright, so... Nope, no damage. That was good-ish. I mean, obviously it's a problem. So we're gonna roll around here and annihilate these dudes. Okay, well. So they have an entrenched Patton. They have an armored personnel carrier with a laser on top of it. They have just a really absurd number of tanks. And no, it's not a limit of 2 tanks at one time, it's a limit of 2 tanks total for the mission. Which might mean we've already lost. If they've got 3 tanks on the field and we're never allowed to have a second one, I have a hard time imagining how we survive. Because the balance of the game is such that, you know, non-tank units have a very, very hard time playing the game against tanks. So we need to try to withdraw everyone. It would be best if they didn't have the ability to laser designate us. I mean, you just fall back, I guess. The thing is, we can't actually even approach over here. Here's a really good example of like why units like our surface-to-air missile launcher are really bad and stuff. If our units just had machine guns on them, like all of their stuff always does, they would be so much more resilient against, you know, ground attack. Because we basically can't even take the strategy of deploying troops in the woods and then having them push up, because they'll just get cut to pieces by all the machine guns over here. So we actually don't have a move against these guys, except the entrenched dude is vulnerable to these. We can bring over an ATGM team to here. Maybe? I guess I'm going to try. And then... we killed one of their laser designator teams. We know they have at least one more, plus the vehicle. Things that can move and then fire are definitely at a premium as long as they have laser designators. Can the helicopter... no, the helicopter's machine gun is not a move and then fire kind of thing. Well, I'm debating whether I think a second one of these makes any sense. I guess, like, I hate these units, but we have to be able to kill a huge number of enemy tanks, so we sort of don't have a choice, I think. And then... the mortar units will be good against all of this infantry, and could potentially let us take out laser designator guys, but they won't be useful against the tanks, which are the things we really care about. And they could never damage the APC with the laser. No, mortar teams are just worthless. We could have these guys sweep around here. But again, we can't actually approach. Yeah, this is tough. I think the fact is, there's just no good strategies available to us here when we're this out-tanked. We're gonna have to hope that the AI makes a ton of really huge errors. And on top of that, we'll probably have to get quite lucky. And we have if those are our outs, we have to try to choose the units that play into those strategies the best. The thing is, there's just almost everything we can take here is so low impact. It's really tough to imagine. I guess we'll bring another helicopter, like another one of these ATGMs, and try to get them into the woods over here to put pressure on these guys who can't move forward to defend themselves. But an ATGM team right here is still in considerable danger. So I assume they're just going to laser designate... wow, okay, well, that's bad. I assume this thing is going to laser designate the VADs. Oh, won't even need to. So they will not get any laser designation done at all. It is... I think at this point very close to impossible for us to win. Yeah, they hit really well on their tank damage rolls when we just really cannot afford for them to have done that. So we know that there's one mobile tank here, one mobile tank there. In 4 turns, they're going to get another tank plus some stuff. We could deploy a couple of rifle teams here and try to... I guess that makes sense. My guess is we're probably just going to have to redo this one. You do not want to be that close. You're supposed to have 4 range. Why? It's just not drawing my attack range at all for some reason. I guess if you can't penetrate the armor, it just doesn't even bother to draw it. So we gotta remember, surface-to-air missiles. Pretty important we be careful here. But I think we can get aggressive like this. Put the guys down in the forest, then fly away. You're gonna move toward that group of trees. And unfortunately, we're probably gonna have to be like extremely passive for a minute here, because we're gonna have to deal with these things approaching us while all these units are moving around, and unfortunately we have to wait for slow infantry units to get in position before we can do much. Yep. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and land this. Let's get the infantry out. So I think this helicopter's of limited value, I might say. And then we actually can't move any of our vehicles forward very easily because we do have to clean these things up. Otherwise, they're just going to press us forward into the enemy tanks in a way that is very untenable. Yeah, you have to set up, you have to move back, which is devastatingly bad. You guys need to not roll 1 damage all the time. That's good news. You, boy, where do we want to put these guys out? Because you get to roll forward to here for right now. You can move to there. In theory, these trucks could have a use at some point in the future. Do you have clean line of sight to here? You do. And it won't be a big deal on the first turn, but then when we want to land to deploy, we will definitely lose the helicopter. And the SAMs have, I think, a range of 6 tiles, so that's probably... Yeah, you know what? Maybe we do go over here and just deploy the ATGM right there. And just accept the loss of the helicopter after it lands, because I sort of think that's unavoidable anyway. The only thing that really matters is the destruction of enemy tanks. Because if we get control of the tanks, we have control of everything. Boy, they sure have a lot of stuff. Okay, so they did not bother to go after the helicopter. How do we want to work that to our advantage? Boy, do I want to take the chance of this not working? No, I think we'll commit. All right, there's my 2 damage. That's good news. You're just going to go ahead and set up. That's going to make life difficult for you. Man, they get more points of units than us, and they have emplacement defenses already, and this is rough. This is a rough life out here. If we deploy an anti-tank unit here, we do immediately have the problem of this guy moving adjacent to them and shooting them, which means that we will not actually be able to even fire. Yeah, that is a problem. I'm not really sure how we're going to deal with that. Alright, first things first. Let's go ahead and do this. I feel like that makes sense. We are not going to be able to stop them from getting something with the targeting laser. Right, there's too many things that are invisible spaces, yeah. But we don't have to let them... We don't have to let them have a vehicle or anything. Here, let's back this truck up so that we can back this thing up. Rather than fighting here, I'm going to close you guys in there. You're going to back up too. I think I'm just going to shoot at these guys. You're just gonna get shot, but I think it's still the right move. And we have got to get... I guess I just fly over here. We go ahead and drop off the... No, because they're gonna get pushed from so many sides. There's not really a good place to put down the anti-tank team. And also, the ATGMs, like, this thing has 3 armor. We're gonna roll 0 damage, a ton on it. The ATGM doesn't necessarily even have enough ammo to make a dent. Yeah, this is very bad. Yeah, there's no way to do it. Okay, so I'm gonna do something a little unusual then. I'm just gonna fly right here. We're gonna land right here. We'll put one of the ATGM teams out there, and we'll just drop the other 2 infantry guys right on top of this tank, and we'll roll those 2 to 4s, and hopefully, man, 2 to 4. It's so unlikely it will do any damage at all. Ugh. 3 armor. 3 armor's pretty good if you're an enemy unit, and it's basically nothing if it's one of my units, apparently. Well, the good news is, anti-vehicle infantry teams are a lot less meaningful to us this time than they usually are, because of the fact that we've already lost all of our tanks. Right, let's just gun you down. You can threaten that. We definitely are just doing this with these guys. I'm going to pressure this tank. We're never actually going to get anything done against it, but we can keep it moving around. And I think I'm still going to do this, even though it's pretty unlikely that either of these guys will actually be able to damage the tank. We can keep it busy for a while we do this thing. Alright, you may as well pick up. There's no more value in you being over here. Do we know where that other laser designator team is still up, aren't they? I think so, and we have no idea where they are and no way to really interact with them. Guess I'm going to do this. We'll just let this thing menace some people. And then we need to move forward carefully with these things. The thing is, anytime we move... I guess with these guys having 3 movement and 4 range on the heat round, we will never ever, under any circumstances, be able to shoot first at them. It will always be the case that if I try to set up in range of them, or even 1 tile out of range of them, they can just roll up and shoot us first. And the heat round does enough damage that it can kill you without you being able to react to it at all. It can one-shot. So I'm going to do this, and we're going to roll this guy up to here and deploy the smoke. Let's try to make it difficult for this thing to be able to get in range of these before they're set up. And then you... I don't know, you can't really go forward, can you? I don't think I want to push forward on these guys. And the trucks don't do anything. Yeah, we have a lot of units that are worthless, basically. Alright, so they're going to get their last 5 points worth of dudes, which I assume is going to include a tank. They still have considerable air support. We are getting to bully them pretty badly with our, Yep, there's their tank. And a helicopter, okay. We are getting to bully them pretty seriously with our anti-tank units, but unfortunately, like, it is completely trivial for them to just never allow us to do damage to them. Right? They have to choose to let us hit them in order for us to hit them. Let's see, you're definitely shooting there. You and the helicopter can finish this off. Yeah. The loss of the helicopter doesn't actually mean anything. It doesn't matter whether that tank blows it up or not. We may as well shoot you. Does this one... Okay, this one has a clear shot. I guess we set up... I don't know. It doesn't... It almost certainly doesn't matter. Unfortunately, the way these guys are positioned, we can't actually push in on them at all. Yeah, if we move forward, we just lose our unit. Let's roll you out of there, because that's about to become very unsafe. And then there's not really a good place for you to go to menace anybody. Alright, so how do we want to handle these guys? Shooting at this dude is almost certainly going to have no effect at all. Really, we're waiting for the ATGM here to get online. So how do we take advantage of the positions we have? I mean, I can move up and at least threaten this thing. Maybe you just roll the dice, because I honestly don't know that you have any better plays. Yeah, you know, it could have happened. We could have rolled the 4. You're actually pretty set. Helicopter may as well just get away from there. Although, I do not really think there's anywhere for it to go. Alright, so there's another one of those automatic weapons. Another one of those turrets in the middle of the forest there. Man, infantry that can move and then fire. Such a huge advantage. Alright, the ATGM gets to fire a single time. Okay. That's... You know what? Hold on. We're not going to quit yet. We're going to kill these guys, and then we're going to quit. But yeah, there's zero chance. We win now. The only way we could possibly win is if we were to push these things around the tanks. Like, if they chose to keep all of their tanks away from us. Which I can't imagine they're going to do. Yeah, I mean, you're not going to be able to do anything. You again die instantly if you move, which is pretty rough. You could roll forward and finish those guys off if you wanted to just die for no value. Which you'll probably be surprised to hear, not super interested in. Just trading units off for nothing. We can do this, though. So we may as well hammer these guys. And... we'll move you up. And again, this thing is in position to punish if the patent rolls forward. Not that we would probably kill it. We have to roll max damage in order to kill it, and it's just not super likely. And you know what? Why don't you land? Let's get this guy back in here, and I don't know exactly what we're going to do with him next turn, but that seems like the smart way to do that. Yep, these guys will kill my ATGM. Not that it matters much, because it turns out they can't kill a tank anyway. Boy, enemy turns take forever, huh? Okay, so this thing only has the slow missiles. That's interesting. Oh, right. You can't shoot aerial units. And the way you would ordinarily handle this is by having your tanks shoot it, because that's the way you handle all situations. But you cannot do that if all of your tanks have been killed. So this helicopter is going to get to... Yeah, we're done. To be perfectly honest, we could very well have just scooped that up as soon as we lost the second tank, and it would have been approximately the same. Okay, so no, you do actually have to complete the mission in order to get your TIS 330. Well, let's do it again, but this time more carefully. The game definitely did not need more ways for us to lose units without being able to react to it in any way. And I mean, like, it's trying to prize the value of information here, right? Which I get. I just don't know that it's necessarily strategically interesting. So... I mean, I think the complement of vehicles is the same. Vehicles that can move and shoot are really valuable against laser teams. And then you also just need some eyes on, but, like, moving forward is incredibly dangerous. Here, let's just clean these up now. Really? No, that's fine. So where do we want to put these guys out? We want to get vision through here as quickly as possible, right? So I guess we'll just roll you forward and drop off dudes in there rather than moving them up. Move fast and die, move slow and be outnumbered. But what do I even... The VATS just doesn't move, right? Like... I think we have to accept move slow and be outnumbered. I think that's... Come on! Jesus. Yeah, we just have to... We have to trade positively, move slow, eat the trades. Because there's no other way to... There's no other way to do this, I don't think. Alright, so that's both the laser designator teams that they have at the beginning of the mission. At least as far as we're aware. I'm sure they already have that, the vehicle over here with the designator as well. Yep. Can you get in range? You cannot. So we can't even retaliate. We just lose units for nothing all the time. That's a tough one. Boy, what do we do here? I mean, we gotta move this thing forward into a position where it can punish that tank next turn. And then, yeah, we can't move forward any further than this. I think I'm going to get aggressive with these two. mostly as a way of getting damage onto you, although the damage we get onto you is a lot less flexible now that we lost our VADs to nothing. Now that we lost our VADs with 0 trade-off. Okay, that's pretty good news. We shouldn't be in any danger of getting laser designated here. I'm just going to shoot these guys because I think at this point it's virtually guaranteed that they just laser designate this infantry team. And that's going to happen no matter what we do with them. So moving them forward and doing no damage feels pretty bad. And you're going to stay put because I don't want to risk moving you into anything. Alright, this time at least we still have both of our tanks when the first reinforcement phase comes. What's the range on the designator? 6 tiles? Yeah, I mean, still having the 2 tanks is like a world of difference. This unit is terrible. And I think having the tanks doesn't really help it very much. We should bring in another VADS or 2. They're still good for the thing we wanted to use them for before, and also we suspect that they'll deploy a helicopter. And then... yeah, I guess just more bodies? A helicopter of our own will be valuable. Do we want a second one? We don't know where that other laser team is. They're somewhere in here. I think I'm gonna deploy guys into that forest. And then we have 3 points left. We already brought in 2 rotary cannons. And we could go for one of these. Yeah, honestly, I don't know. I don't know that it... I don't know how much it's going to matter, frankly. Everything that we pull in at this point is going to be so low impact. I guess one of these 2? I mean, I'm often trying to, like, actually defeat them militarily. Maybe the move is just pick stuff that moves fast and go around the enemy tanks, and we don't really have access to anything that moves fast, though. I do think this is super strange. You guys probably just stay in. Yeah, I think we'll move to here. This is it's a little aggressive, but it means that the helicopter after landing can be a threat to those guys, which definitely there's some value in that. Or perhaps I just roll both of my tanks forward and obliterate those guys right now. I think that's maybe actually the move. We do have to be careful about... yeah, they're going to be able to double heat move if they want, which means that it's actually very dangerous for us to forward deploy, as much as I was just saying. This is just an ugly situation. Now, you guys are not going to be able to deploy anything in a place that matters at all for at least another turn after this. So what is this guy's actual range going to be? He gets to move forward 4 spaces to here, And then 4 spaces on the heat gun means he can reach here, but not here. And as such, also not here. Alright, I think getting rid of those guys is a really, really good idea. Alright, let's see what they do with that. Okay, they can make it completely untenable for us to deploy our infantry units here. Okay, that doesn't actually do anything. So I feel pretty okay about that. They have to get very lucky to deploy, or to successfully moving heat round one of our tanks because of the 3 armor. But now that they moved 2 tanks up within attack range together, things do get a little more complicated. Alright, so that's easy enough to do. We're gonna move you. I don't actually know where yet. Hold on. I probably don't want to have you just set up here. No, definitely not. This copse of trees right here makes it really awkward to set up an anti-tank weapon. Yeah, I guess, like, the thing is, this thing is not going to be very useful until we can get it, like, this far forward. Which, unfortunately, is going to take a little bit of doing. There's not really an easy way to get to that. Alright, I'm going to have you deploy up here. I don't really want to deploy infantry back here. They're not going to be very useful. We can't necessarily stop the tanks from being able to shoot at us, but we can put ourselves in position to punish them if they do move up for the kill. So hopefully that's what we're doing here. You should definitely move away. I don't have any idea what to do with this truck. I mean, I want to just offload the infantry. If I move up to here, though, I'm giving this tank the ability to roll forward, shoot at me cleanly without me being able to retaliate in the way that I'd like. So I kind of think I'm just going to move it up here. And then, yeah, man, where do we want to put this? And do we still want to land and deploy? Probably not. There's not really anywhere else that we can, like, set up meaningfully. I guess I can do this and be a threat to these guys. They were already probably going to move away, but now, like, they really want to move away. Alright, that's very good news. The stationary heat shots are still scary. Mathematically, they shouldn't be that big of a deal, but, you know, they sure have been. Alright, so laser designator team is in a spot where we're not actually going to be able to kill it. And it is going to be able to designate this space, but none of the other vehicle spaces around it. Yeah, and unfortunately, this space is not, it's really not shootable. Alright, well, I guess you just fall back to here. We shoot these guys up a whole bunch. I may as well land. I guess right now they don't have a way of laser designating anything. If I land and I press guys forward, they're just going to get airstriked. So I guess I just hang out here. I mean, we may as well No, there's no reason to land. Yeah, I'm just gonna fire. And I just have no idea what to do with a huge number of these guys. Okay, you just back way the hell up. Let's empty some of these trucks. You know what I'm going to do? Do I want to move the mortar teams into the helicopter? Maybe. That's... For right now, this is the plan. And then you pretty much just have to back off, or we could push forward a little bit. This truck can be a scout. Yeah, alright. I mean, they're not going anywhere. They are obviously just going to stand and continue to shoot at us. I think we don't want to move anybody else, because we don't want to give those lasers anything to point at. I do not like the number of turns of just sitting still and firing tanks. Hey, look at that. Maximum damage. Who would have thought? Please finish the job? Alright. Okay, so we did lose one of our tanks. This thing will never get to do anything useful again. You are actually just gonna stay put and harass. And in fact, maybe you just get out of the way and we move these guys forward. I don't know where we get you out of the way to. I mean, I guess you can be right here for right now. We will get them later. I do not think that is a high priority. Oh, really? You can't get to... Damn it. This thing being impassable is a real bummer. Alright, well, you can press. You can press. And I mean, I guess there's not really a lot of danger to our infantry units running forward in the open at this point. So let's see. We know there's a designator forward somewhere here. I'm gonna go ahead and move up. Let's make sure that we get some vision. So we don't know where the laser truck is. It could be anywhere. We do know there was a gun here, right? I think that's the case. Alright, we can have you guys come back to serve as scouts because it looks like it's going to be a lot safer to move forward now. They definitely still have at least one tank up aside from this, right? And they're about to get another tank, so we do need to move some of you guys forward. But yeah, this is looking pretty good. This is, I mean, it's a hell of a lot better than last time, that's for sure. Okay, there's... Nope, that's just an APC. Honestly, I think I just roll up and do this. Like, getting rid of that guy is so important. Speaking of important kills, we do need to lower the number of units over here that have the ability to shoot at vehicles. Oh, right. Yeah. Damn it. I knew that. So what do we want to do on this front? Man, and they need to have 2 range as well. It's just very rough. These are probably the guys who are getting shelled now. I do not think we're going to land. We may as well just finish the job, right? So the one helicopter we know that they still have does require setup time. Or it requires a turn of not acting. So we're not in a huge amount of immediate danger. I think we're just gonna deploy and then drive the truck away. And I'm actually gonna scan up here. Like, in theory, there's another tank somewhere, right? They should have just spawned another tank. We have no idea where. Can't really move you guys forward safely. You don't get to move at all. Yep, ran right into that. I even knew where they were, and they're stationary and everything. Okay, there's the other tank. Of course, it goes without saying that it instantly kills us. So, the laser designator vehicle is in a place where it can't see anybody. I can't say I fully understand their plan here. Alright, this helicopter will work just fine against a theoretically unbounded number of enemies. I mean, I'll say this, I'm a little nervous about moving forward now. We gotta be real careful who we allow to move up. You know what? Yeah, let's go ahead and just cut those guys down. That seems smart. Yeah, I think we just want to keep threatening these guys. I think they're an important unit to be rid of for a bunch of reasons. So the designator truck is down there somewhere, which is, I guess, fine by me. So where do we actually want to set you up? From here, you can see down that way, so probably here. Gives us a reasonable field of fire that way. Not too worried about the APC punching holes in me. Alright, if we can deal with this last tank and the helicopter, then I think we're in pretty good shape. Okay, so the helicopter moves in pretty aggressively. I really wish that you could shoot air units. I don't really think there's any good reason that you can't. So we can do 1 damage to that helicopter, basically. No, we could do 2 damage to it, but obviously that's not good enough. Actually, no, wait. Sorry, we have 2 VADs. Yeah, so we can just kill it. Which means we need to. Because otherwise, it's actually quite dangerous. Alright, that is one of the major remaining threats. Alright, we got a bunch of... That's a bummer. We have a bunch of open space up here, and this thing has to be pretty careful about its approach. I suppose our stationary tank is low enough to get 1 shot, and maybe that's what threatens to happen here. Alright, let's push you back a little bit. I don't know what the hell you guys are gonna do. And then, like... I wanna be able to scout, but we really just can't. I mean, you can safely move forward to here. This is fine. Yeah, no further, but that's fine. Yeah, I think that's about all we can do in a useful way. Yep, the loss of Avads at this point is not so painful. It doesn't actually end up mattering all that much. So it does seem like their other tank is being held at bay here. It's still going to be a problem, but it can wait. So we need to start killing... Man. It sure is a pain in the ass to hit these enemy anti-tank teams. Alright, you gotta either move forward or move back. Yeah, sure. Forward. So we need to put this pressure on. You guys may as well just hit that dude. Like, it would be cool if we could unload this helicopter, right? So we'll land, and then we'll fire... And then get you out there. Oh, hey, it's a second laser designator. Well, that's pretty bad news. Because that means this team is now... not only are they not going to get that designation done, but they're probably just in horrible, horrible danger. Okay, we can keep an infantry unit alive that way. Yeah, like, these guys are going to take 1 damage, and then it's never going to be safe for them to set up anywhere, unfortunately. Because they'll just get rushed. The only thing they could possibly shoot at is this guy. But, you know, that's not zero utility. Shooting that guy does matter. I am definitely pretty bummed out about how little control we have over the laser targeters. It looks like, though, we could probably just do this. Alright, so we put a little bit more pressure on you. I might even just have you get back in the helicopter, honestly. I probably should have just loaded them back in the truck. So we need to... Yeah, we need to take this space. Which means we have a lot of enemies to kill here. Alright, that'll buy time for you to go here and then set up to fire at him. And each of the trucks, remember, has... Oh, no, that's right. The ammo resupplies are only for infantry. That's a bummer. That prevents them from ever being useful, pretty much. We almost never get the opportunity to run out of ammo on an infantry unit. I guess you're good where you are. A lot of people are basically good where they are. We did manage to make them waste an airstrike cooldown, which is good news. Slightly less good news is this situation. So you just need to get out of the way. You guys are going to want to step forward a little bit. How are we going to untangle this? Yeah, alright. I'm just gonna start pressing. Okay, very lucky. That's good news. Let's just start pressing these vehicles, because I think we have to start getting stuff off the table. And then we have a question about what to do here. You know what? I don't think I really have an option. I think I kind of have to just wait. Alright, that's good news for sure. Set you up, so next turn you can actually do something useful. And you kind of can't do anything useful no matter what. I wonder how often other players find that they have the opportunity to refuel a re-ammo an infantry unit. It just doesn't... It seems like it can't possibly come up very much. Alright, I assume those guys are just going to run, because it's very hard to imagine them profiting off of anything else. That's a pretty good start. And at this point, I think it's still not safe to disembark again yet. I'm trying to position myself such that if these guys want to move forward, we have like a very, very easy group of kills, and then we can group of hits resulting in a kill, and then we can unload these guys and hopefully still get them to shoot at something. Although, to be perfectly honest with you, I have no confidence that they're not just going to get murdered the moment they start setting up. Alright, so we have one laser designation vehicle left, and it actually can't designate anything right now. Do we want to try to get some kills with the mortar here so that these guys can just move to a different place and we can move the mortar team in here? I think so. Here, let's have you take a shot just in case I accidentally shoot you with a mortar. Okay, and then we move you forward, which allows us to move you to here. And then this guy can just go and grab our computer. I guess you're just a normal infantry unit at this point. Alright, and I think that's the last of their anti-tank weapons teams. Yeah, do believe so. Oof, boy. I mean, you gotta roll pretty well to do meaningful damage against that thing. Which does suck a huge amount, and it's looking more and more like we'll just have to win the battle around it. Okay, that was actually damage at least. We are about to run out of ammo on that one. Okay, I can have these two clean this up while the vehicles push northward, because there's not really any reason not to do things that way. I don't know what I think these guys are going to get accomplished. Yeah, similarly, have no idea what I think these guys are going to get to do. Okay, that was the last shot. We managed to get a full 2 points of damage off of 4 anti-tank shots. The sad thing about that is, I don't even think... Yeah, that's about expected value, actually. Just a thing that has 3 armor is so terrifyingly tough. At least when our enemies have it. Alright, so you need to... I guess just push up. Like, we just sort of ignore this guy for the moment, right? It does not help us at all to re-ammo the mortar squads. Well, okay, I guess that's not exactly true. Re-ammoing a mortar squad does mean we can pound these from within the trees, and maybe we don't actually have to kill that at all. Maybe. I suppose it's worth a shot. Okay, all we have to do is put you in a place where you are not laser shootable. Let's re-ammo you. Oh, you know what? That's just gonna bait him back. I mean, it's fine. Whatever. It doesn't actually matter. Yeah, I guess we have to be a little bit more careful. Alright, fingers crossed. 2 to 6 damage. Okay, that gives me a huge amount of control. So now we could totally just have this tank come around from the backside. I think I'm going to do it. The utility of these units is definitely questionable. I think at this point we would be hard-pressed to make anything interesting happen with the infantry. Wow. Great shooting, guys. You're really killing it out there. Boy, I sure wish my second tank could move. That feels like it would be really helpful right now. Interesting. I guess their units are not responsible for calling in the airstrikes? Yeah, you. Get back over here and prepare to re-ammo. I suppose I really ought to be focusing on the actual anti-air missiles. Because once those are down, we could pull the helicopter in and have it help things out a little bit. And at this point, I am absolutely just gonna flood the field with our units. Alright, let's see how they handle this. I guess you should... Yeah. I don't think it could possibly matter, but there's no reason not to move it forward. Okay, they just went for it. Do I even bother? Okay, let's roll you right up. Shoot at that. Have both the mortar teams work on that. The mortar teams did turn out to be more useful than I thought they might be. Okay, turns out we don't actually care about this last tank. We kind of sort of went around it.
Even food tastes like shit here.
That the only thing bothering you about this place? You don't mind Ivan's stronger than ever here? And that there's also, you know, aliens or whatever the fuck they are? And they're both trying to kill us? No use stating the obvious, is there?
Man can't eat his rations in peace.
Peace? Peace? What do you think this is? Leave him alone, Grail. Sure, whatever. God damn it.
Who would have thought being on Alien Bug World might start to have an effect on our unit's morale? Alright, well, I think this is totally just going to be a one-mission episode. Sorry, everybody. It turns out, when we lose all of our tanks, the 100% of the tanks that we are allotted in a mission, I probably should just scoop out and save everybody some time. That is going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. When you come back next time, tomorrow, programming. And then probably some more tank shooting, and hopefully we can earn ourselves some more programming. And we'll see you then.